The mansion was only owned really by two families. The Maxwell family, who only lived here for 3 years, and then they sold it to the Hunters. And Rosalie Hunter remarried a guy named Howard Stevenson, and they only had one child, Gussie Augusta. And she lived here till she died in 1957. And then the nursing home next door bought it, and they were going to tear it down. Magaziner is a renowned Philadelphia architect, and he was on the head architect for Philadelphia Landmarks for many years, and he's 99 years old and he's still alive. He wrote this. When she called me, she was agitated. It was Sunday, November 15th in 1964, years before I was on the Philadelphia Historical Landmark Commission. She almost shouted over the telephone, "They're going to tear down the Charles Adams house." I said I knew nothing about it. And she said, well, the Historical Commission had to give Priestley House permission to demolish it. The 6-month delay period expired. Priestley has demolition bids. The board meeting is on Thursday to award a demolition contract. And then she screamed at him, "You have to stop then." And then the story goes on about what he did to stop this. So he is sort of nationally known as one of the first Victorian homes of its kind to be saved from the wrecker ball.
Henry Magaziner's actions were the catalyst for the community's involvement. Local papers like the Germantown Crier and the Germantown Courier made the mansion its cover story. The community even created a committee with Magaziner as head. That's when other people heard about this Victorian mansion and came to help. People like Dr. Evan H. Turner, the director of the Museum of Art, who claimed the mansion was a significant piece of architecture, and Calvin S. Hathaway, now in charge of the decorations inside the museum, said that he would lend the community good Victorian furniture to exhibit. The community leapt on this opportunity and started fundraising for restoration funds.
The day of the trial was recorded by Magaziner himself. In his memoir, he participated in the trial. He described the house's interesting architectural features. From the questions we got, it was obvious our case was lost. However, just as the trial was concluding, Reverend Gelsey, a member of the Priestley Board and a survivor of World War II bombings in Germany, stood up. He proceeded to explain that after the bombing, his world lost all familiarity, and said that there was serious emotional damage. What will the emotional effects be on the residents when the Ebenezer Maxwell mansion is blitzed? Many Priestley residents have lived in the area for years before moving to Priestley. The Ebenezer Maxwell mansion is a part of their world. It should be saved and restored. The mansion won by 1 vote.
When there's an event at the museum, I'll just go out and volunteer and do what they ask me to. Yeah, my entire life I just lived right down the street. I'm pretty dedicated to it. I mean, like, my mom also volunteers there, and she's part of the events, so I just go out too. Well, ever since they started having more events, like this year they had a murder mystery. They do every year, but they completely sold out, and it's been really great. That would be a real loss for the neighborhood, and it'd be really bad.
Try to be there for the neighbors, and they're there for us.